Hi there, Professor. My name is Charlotte Stradley, and today I will be doing the second relational video vlog, and I am ready to jump into this topic. I think this one is a little bit harder than the last topic I talked to you about because this one is a bit more serious. However, I think it does really fit well into the situation that we'll be discussing. So in this video, I will be discussing the basics around context and how worldview, emotions, and just really about how personality and background influence context and how we perceive different emotions and how some people aren't able to perceive and understand the same emotions we are. So I'll be talking about that, and I will also be describing a scenario and a situation where I had an issue with a roommate of mine who was a bit inconsiderate of me and my other roommates, our emotions, and didn't really understand the situation in our context, which is, it can happen and personality types differ, but I will be discussing the situation and giving some advice on how the situation could be handled differently. So let's begin. So what I'll be talking about today is a situation where my first roommate, roommate A, put me and my other two roommates in a very uncomfortable and distraught situation. And this does involve a little bit of, not graphic, but just a little bit more of a serious situation. So let's start. So roommate A, a few days ago, actually, about Tuesday, approached me and my other two roommates in a heated conversation. And as we began to proceed through this conversation, roommate A became very, very, very upset and frustrated. And even though she was dealing with her frustration from another incident, she took to taking it out on us, which became a little bit frustrating. Now, roommate A is from a different background than us, and she's dealt with a lot of mental health issues. We've all tried to be considerate of these, and we've all experienced these as well. However, roommate A has just not taken the help she needs to be able to deal with these in an appropriate manner. So this did impact the situation in a negative way. So going back to the incident, roommate A began to be a little bit violent and aggressive towards us. She ended up involving a knife in the situation, which made us all feel a bit uncomfortable and got to a point where we had to call the police and public safety. I'm not going to go into details because it was a bit distraught and upsetting, but in the end, we ended up calling police and public safety, and she was taken to a mental hospital where she was able to, for the past week, be able to get some help. We thought this would be a really good thing for her, and we were all so caring and compassionate towards her in the situation. However, when she got out, all she was able to do was just blame us for the situation and blame how we approach the situation with a negative point by bringing in authorities and a higher situation, which we all believe to be the right idea, and we've been affirmed that it was the right idea. Now, we understand that this is a complex situation due to the fact that she has been going through mental health struggles. However, through us taking that step and being able to get authorities involved, it was good for her. But in the result of this, she didn't understand our context and we were coming from, because it did put us in a dangerous position. So she didn't understand that we were doing the right thing for us, especially, and especially for her. So she took it out on us. She was angry and sending us rude texts all day. And so basically this situation, to put it in perspective, it really does relate to just context and how listening and being able to understand others' emotions can be very important. One thing that could have been dealt with differently is de-escalation of the situation. So instead of continuing with the conversation we were having before the escalation, involving someone like an RA or a life leader, someone who could have been able to assess the situation and be able to monitor all our emotions evenly. That could have been really good. Another thing that I think could have really helped is really heavily suggesting the idea of therapy, and therapy is a great thing. So if we were able to suggest that sooner, we believe that the situation would not have been able to happen. So yeah, definitely those are the things that we think could have controlled the situation in a better way. But throughout the end of the day, background is a really big part of why these emotions and these worldviews come into context. Me and my other roommates, we are Christian, and this one roommate is not, which does not mean that she's not an amazing person. However, she's not been built on the idea of what would Jesus do and how we can love others through the situations. And not every non-Christian is selfish, but she has tended to be a little bit selfish from what we've noticed. So the selfishness has been an impact on all of our living situations, but we do feel like there's many things we could have taken, like understanding her worldview better. And if we did reach out sooner instead of waiting till she got to the mental hospital, we think that could have helped the situation more. So overall, I do think that this situation was very uncomfortable and compromising for all of us. However, if it had been dealt with differently by being more understanding and using other formats of listening in the situation as well as assessing all of our emotions, we could have dealt with it differently. But at the end of the day, what is done is done, and this is just the situation I like to talk about. So I hope that this is meeting the guidelines of this assignment. I know it was a little bit more of a serious situation, but I thought that it was very important to talk about, especially since it affected all of us. And it really, really does describe how personalities can differ. And the more understanding we are of others' personalities and the more we can use outside resources to help us assess these situations is the higher chance of a success rate in all conflict and even non-conflict, just differing situations. So I hope this is what you're looking for, and I hope you have a great day.